One small gesture changed my life forever. 6 months ago, I was a nervous intern at Pinnacle Advertising, a high-powered Chicago agency where I felt like a ghost. At 23, I was Emily Carter, the quiet one fetching coffee, sorting files, and dodging eye contact in the sleek, bustling office. My days were spent fading into the background, my confidence eroded by years of academic struggles and social missteps. High school had been my stage, vibrant, bold, the girl who led clubs and won debates. But college? A slow unraveling. By the time I landed this internship, I was a shadow, hoping to rebuild but unsure how. The one light in my life was my younger sister, Lily, who was born blind. While our family fumbled with Braille and adaptive tech, I dove in headfirst, learning Braille and audio description techniques with a fire I didn't know I had. Lily was my why, my reason to master a skill that made her world brighter. By the time I joined Pinnacle, I could read Braille fluently and describe visuals with precision. It felt like my superpower, but in the corporate grind of ad campaigns and client pitches, it seemed irrelevant, like knowing calligraphy in a world obsessed with typewriters. That all changed on a chaotic Wednesday in November. Pinnacle was in overdrive, prepping for a massive client pitch. I was stationed near the lobby, sorting documents, when I noticed him. An older man, maybe late 60s, in a sharp gray suit, standing alone by the reception desk. His face was a mix of determination and quiet distress. People rushed past, executives with briefcases, creatives with mock-ups, interns like me with their heads down. Nobody stopped. I saw him tapping his cane lightly, his fingers tracing the air as if searching for something familiar. Then it hit me. He was blind, trying to navigate a space that wasn't built for him. Our receptionist, Sarah, was swamped, her tone clipped as she asked him to write down his name or purpose. He couldn't, of course. She turned away, flustered, and he stood there, shoulders sagging, isolated in a sea of movement. My instinct was to stay put. I was just an intern, tasked with menial jobs for the pitch. My boss, Kathryn, would have my head if I stepped out of line. But then I thought of Lily. How it feels when the world moves on without you. I couldn't ignore him. Heart racing, I approached. "Hello, sir," I said softly, placing my hand gently on his arm to signal my presence. "I'm Emily. Can I help you?" I described the lobby briefly, orienting him, and asked if he needed assistance finding someone. His face softened, relief washing over him. "You're kind to notice," he said, his voice warm but tired. "I'm here to see my daughter, but I don't have an appointment. I just hoped." "Who's your daughter?" I asked. "Laura Bennett," he replied. I froze. Laura Bennett was Pinnacle's CEO, a powerhouse whose name commanded respect and whose rare appearances sent the office into a frenzy. This man was her father? "Mr. Thomas," he offered. "Thomas Reed." I guided Thomas to a nearby chair, describing the space to keep him comfortable, and called Laura's assistant, Diane, a gatekeeper with a reputation for being unyielding. "Hi, Diane, it's Emily the intern. There's a visitor in the lobby, Mr. Reed, Laura's father. He'd like to see her." A pause. "Her father? I'll check with Ms. Bennett. Have him wait." I sat with Thomas, describing the office's energy, the sleek decor, the hum of ambition. He shared stories of his career as a historian, his late wife who taught at a school for the blind, and his pride in Laura's success, tinged with sadness that they rarely connected. "She's always racing," he said. "I don't want to slow her down." As we talked, I noticed glances from coworkers, some curious, others irritated. Karen's texts piled up, demanding my return to work. But Thomas's gratitude kept me rooted. When Diane reported Laura was tied up for hours, Thomas's face fell. "Maybe I should go," he said. "No." I insisted. "Would you like a tour? I can describe the building." His smile returned, and I threw caution to the wind. What followed was a 2-hour, unsanctioned tour of Pinnacle. I described the vibrant creative floor, the hum of the strategy team, the awards lining the halls. Thomas listened intently, asking questions, his cane tapping lightly as we moved. I narrated every detail, The colors of the artwork, the texture of the conference room table, the city skyline through the windows. Co-workers were polite but distracted, though a few lingered, charmed by Thomas's warmth. I ignored Karen's increasingly sharp messages, lost in the joy of sharing this world with him. Then I saw her. Laura Bennett, standing on the upper balcony, watching us. Her expression was unreadable, but her presence was electric. My stomach dropped. The CEO had seen me ditch my duties. I was done for. But when I looked again, she was gone. We ended on the executive floor, where Thomas marveled at the elegance. "Laura built this," he said, pride and longing in his voice. "I just wish we were closer." Back in the lobby, Karen stormed toward me, her face thunderous. "Emily, we need to talk." Actually, a voice interrupted. "I need Emily first." Laura Bennett stood there, poised, her eyes locked on mine. Karen stammered as Laura continued. "I saw what you did for my father. You gave him something I haven't in years. Dignity, attention, belonging." Thomas's eyes glistened. Laura turned to him, her voice softening. "Dad, I'm sorry I kept you waiting. I've been learning Braille for you." She reached for his hand, and they embraced, a quiet reconciliation unfolding. Laura turned to me. "Emily, my office." "Now." In her office, with its panoramic views and sterile decor, Laura sat beside her father. "You saw my father when no one else did," she said. "This company needs that. I'm offering you a job, Director of Inclusion. You'd make Pinnacle accessible to everyone, from employees to visitors. You'd report to me." I was stunned. "I'm just an intern. I don't have the experience." "You have empathy," she said. "That's rarer. Think about it." I did. By Monday, I said yes. Over the next 6 months, I transformed Pinnacle. We added Braille signage, audio guides, and inclusive training. Employees learned basic Braille. Karen became my biggest supporter. The culture shifted. Empathy became as valued as ambition. Pinnacle won an inclusion award, and as I accepted it, Thomas and Laura sat together, their bond stronger than ever. That Wednesday, a simple gesture, seeing someone, changed everything. It taught me that noticing the overlooked can rewrite your story, and theirs. What moved you about Emily's choice to help Thomas? Share below, like, and subscribe for more stories of compassion that change lives.